Saturday, March 13th, we got overhead squats. So we went back, front, and overhead, okay? And as mentioned yesterday, if it's been a big week for you guys and you did all the squatting this week, you potentially did all the Olympic lifts, a heavy one is going to be relative, okay, to how you're feeling. So go into it with a consideration for what the body's feeling, how you're feeling, your shoulders, legs, everything. If you're really, really, really gearing up for this day and you're still feeling sore and tired, get a good stretch in, warm up before class, okay, so you're ready to go. But the big things, that we always talk about on an overhead squat is, well, let's mention a few things. So one, shoulder activation. So pretend you're holding up the ceiling. You've got two trays of food or drinks that you're trying to support. So you're pressing up to keep your arms stacked, okay? So wrists and elbows have to be locked out. Wrists are going to have a little bit of a backward hinge here, not neutral and definitely not forward, okay? This helps keep the orientation of the bar over the middle of your foot, okay? So if you were to take a picture of yourself standing straight up and down, okay, with the bar overhead, that barbell should be dissecting your foot in half, okay? And then the pace. So outside of a pause, okay, a back squat and front squat should be a controlled descent, okay? Then we've got that bounce and acceleration out of the bottom of the squat and our drive or fight to get back up. The overhead squat is going to be more of a tempo. So it's a very controlled, especially on a heavy lift. It's going to be a very controlled descent where you're trying to keep your arms extended, the bar in place, okay, and everything balanced and in control as you go down. So you might get to a point where it's slow to the bottom, you hit the very bottom, there's a brief moment where things do actually stop for a split second, and then we drive up out of the bottom, okay? But you've got on an overhead squat, set yourself up so that when you get to the bottom, everything is completely vertical, and when you drive out of the bottom, you're pushing the ceiling or you're pressing those trays up as hard as you can as you use your legs to stand up, okay? So a little bit more control, a little bit more tempo to it, all right? Then in the workout, we've got every 2 minutes for 8 sets. Now this is going to be a tight 2-minute window, okay? But here's the movements. You've got 8 overhead stationary lunges, okay? So that's going to be 4 per leg. The weight's going to be 75 and 53, so pretty light, but right, left, you can step forward, you can step backwards. Does not matter, okay? But 8 reps. Then we've got 8 lateral burpees. So again, we're going to jump sideways over the bar, followed by 8 strict press, okay? So that's where this is going to get tough. You're going to go burpee to strict press. So that pressing motion on the burpees is going to tire out the strict press motion overhead. Now, for those two, okay? Now the overhead stationary lunges, you want to pick a weight you can hang on to. The burpees, we can't say unbroken. That's relative. You just got to keep moving. The strict press, you got to try and do this one unbroken, okay? And then you got 8 toes to bar to end that sequence. So this is going to be a tight window. The goal is to work between about a minute and 20 seconds and a minute and 40 seconds and have a little bit of rest, okay? Now, I mentioned earlier in the week, we're going to see some workouts that are similar to some open workouts in the past. This is one of them. I believe it was 2016 or 17. There was a 20-minute AMRAP of walking lunges, burpees, walking lunges, and chest-to-bar pull-ups. This is the exact same rep scheme. The movements are slightly different. And I'm using a 2-minute window because a great score in that workout was 10 rounds. And that would have been an average of 2 minutes per round, okay? Now, a very easy way to modify, or a couple easy ways to modify this. You can reduce the weight, all right? Just if you're doing an empty bar, do not drop it from overhead, okay? It kind of ruins the integrity of the bar. Some of them get bent and they don't move as well, okay? Outside of that, you can reduce the reps, okay? So it doesn't have to be all of the movements. It could be a single movement. But if you wanted to, you could do 7 reps of everything. You could do 6 of everything, okay? But take a look at what you know is going to be, I don't want to say easy, but what's going to be what's going to go smoother for you in each one. Maybe the ones that are going to be harder, and you can reduce as needed that way, okay? But the goal, again, think about work time, minute 20 to a minute 40, okay? It should be hard, but you should still have a little bit of rest and recovery before you have to repeat your work, okay? All right, that'll be Saturday.